Hey guys, I found a great trade set up today using AI, and I wanted to walk you through how this works. A lot of people ask me constantly about AI. I have a really good AI tool that I use. I want to show you how it works, how I found a trade. At the end of this video, you'll see exactly how I found it, how I set it up, how I knew exactly what the trade was, and what the risk reward on the trade was. And so you can evaluate it and see if that's something that you would be interested in doing. So let's check this out. Let me bring over my preferred AI tool. I've been using Max for a while. So Max is Market Agent X. This is a really cool platform. Now on AI platforms, and I'm going to do a lot more videos on this, but on AI platforms, you want to really be sure that you use the right AI tools because a lot of AI, there's a lot of them out there, and there will be 10 times that many 6 months from now. It's growing so fast. You want to be sure that your AI tool is getting the right data feed, institutional data, etc., and not getting delayed quotes from Yahoo Finance or something like that. Nothing against Yahoo Finance, but I'm just saying there's a lot of anyone can create an AI tool, but you need to get a real AI tool. So this, in my opinion, is a real AI tool. So this is Max. Again, I'm going to do more videos on this and go in depth and show you guys how this works. But I want to show you the trade I did today. And what I do when I come in the morning, I like to go over here to the Options Pro because you guys know I like to trade options. I trade stocks too, but I trade options. So I go over here to the Options Pro. And you don't have to type in anything. If you're looking for something specifically, you could type in Micron or Apple or Nvidia or whatever you're looking at. But I didn't type in anything. And I'm looking for, let me get my drawing tool again. You can search for unusual option activity. You can look for block trades. You can look for sweeps. I like to look for whales. That's something that's out of the ordinary. So if you click on whales here, this will be premium greater than $1 million. Anytime somebody's in options, you're putting more than $1 million in there. It's probably a pretty decent sized trade. Now I do combine that with unusual option activity in most cases, which is premium volume over interest over open open interest, that kind of thing, and combine that with the whales. But I did this morning, actually, very early in the morning. And this will come up with a list of a lot of different stocks here. You can see SPX, Exxon, SanDisk, what else down here? Tesla, etc. So it gives you a lot. Echo, I don't know what that is. ARM. So anyway, it gives you just tons and tons of ideas, and you can slice and dice this any way you want to. I'll do a separate video on this because this is worth doing. I mean, you can scan for spreads, see bullish, that's bearish, that's bullish, that's bearish, whatever. Live flow chain. Get back over here to my screener. I'll do a different one on that. But what I want to point out is that this morning I was looking at this. I'll show you the trade, and it came up with the symbol DRAM, DRAM. And I honestly really wasn't that familiar with it. So I go to my home tab here to analyze, and there's multiple ways, and you can get this through any one of these different tabs, but the easiest way to me is to go to analyze ticker, and you click on this and you put in DRAM right here and you get a quick report. Well, I've already generated that this morning. I saved it, or it's actually archived over here. You see this right here? It's archived. So I want to pull up the exact thread that I get. Again, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, right? So I click on this, and I don't know what DRAM is. I honestly have never traded it. So quick report on DRAM, and it comes back quick report. Here's the trend, SMA 20, EMA 21, the momentum RSI, blah, blah, blah. We look through all this kind of stuff. Not a lot of data on it, honestly. And so I go to TOS over here and I pull up DRAM. This is an ETF, of course, and again, it's a fairly new ETF. So I look at this and I'm like, well, the chart looks pretty good. Let's go back over here to our old buddy Max, and the next question, the prompt, you had to, this is actually very easy on prompts. You can kind of just put anything vague out there and it will decipher what you're looking for. So I just said, what is DRAM ETF and what is in it? And it says it's Round Hill Memory ETF. Here's the breakdown. It's an actively managed ETF, blah, blah, blah. 21 billion in assets. So here is where it gets kind of interesting. So top holdings, and we can see it's got T-bills. There's a reason I'll show you for that. Samsung, SK Hynix, if I'm saying that right, Micron, Seagate, Western Digital, SanDisk, all that kind of stuff, right? So the fund, let me scroll down here. They cap 25% in any company. The bottom line, this is what I love about this AI. The bottom line, it's a pure play memory chip bet. So if I say, you know, I'd like to have some exposure to Micron and SanDisk and, you know, AMD and all the others, there's 23 names in the whole portfolio. So there's all exposure to the semiconductor sector without having to pick which one. I like this, right? Heavily concentrated in the big three, Micron, Samsung, SK, with a T-bill sleeve right here, likely collateralizing the swap exposure on Micron, right? You're essentially leveraging a proxy on HBAI memory demand with Korea and US chip exposure baked in. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Well, what I had identified over here on my original chain, there was a pretty big block of open interest and volume in the September 18 September 60 and 70 call strikes. So the next prompt, and I'm just asking, we're just talking back and forth, you know, as you do with AI, right? I said, can you tell me anything about the options trade for 18 Sep 60 and 70 strike calls? Are those two related as a spread or separate trades? Are those separate or is that one trade? And Max goes, let me pull the options chain and I'll check out those specific dates for you. Okay, so it was one of the things that I was looking for was unusual activity. It was 2.5 times larger than its peer ratio, and so you can adjust it any way you want to as far as what you're looking for, right? Let me pull the strike ladder for that date. Great data. Here's the full read. All right, this is, and again, I'm going through the process exactly like I did it this morning, and I did this trade. You know, full disclosure, I'm in this trade. So September 60 versus 70 calls, bull call spread or separate trades? That was the question I asked right here. Can you tell me, are those two trades related or as a spread or separate trades? And it comes back and it says most likely a bull call spread. And here's why. There's the volume, there's the open interest, leaning right here. Call side, 60 calls, ask side buying. That's where they came across. That's where they traded. 70s, bid side selling, right? It was a sweep. It was a sweep, right? That's a good thing, right? IV 69, 69. So the 60s leaning ask side, someone's buying, someone's selling. This is a classic fingerprint of a bull call spread. Consistent with spread being legged in or executed together. Both are sweeps suggesting urgency and likely institutional. It was 40,000 contracts. So I'm like, okay, I'm listening. This is interesting. Tell me more, right? So the September 18 expiry is already flagged unusual because of the volume there. This is the most active non-weekly expiry on the board. Interesting. This is a pretty good size ETF, 21 billion, I suppose. For a new ETF, it's pretty good, right? The 60 strike, so here, check this out. The $60 strike aligns almost exactly with the 50 SMA and super trend resistance. Whoever put this on is betting a breakout through that wall. There's the 50, they're betting on a breakout through that wall. Bottom line, that's what we want to see. You could spend 10 seconds on this and just read the bottom line and it gives you pretty much everything you need to know. This reads as a single structured bull call spread, not two unrelated trades. Someone's making a defined risk bet that DRAM breaks out of its current technical ceiling and runs towards 70 in the next 35 days, right? So where do I want to be? I want to target 70 in the next 35 days. So I say, can you duplicate this trade for me? I like this. Can you duplicate this for me, right? Again, easy to do this stuff, right? Sure, let me price the leg so I can build the exact spread. I have enough on the chain. There it is. You're going to buy that call. You're going to sell that call. That's the structure. Max profit, $10 a share, $1,000 a spread. If we're greater than 70 at expiration, max loss. This is great stuff to know, right? Why it makes sense here. Why do you want to do this? Super trend resistance, that's the breakout line. And again, basically, when you have a stock, it comes up and hits resistance. If it breaks through, that's when you get the big move, right? That's what they're betting on here. I assume that's what the market and the math says for this trade, right? The target, of course, is 70. Define risk, no blow up risk. We know exactly what our risk is. Again, I'm going to show you the trade. Hold tight. Fits a moderate posture. Now, this is important. This is super cool on this platform. So you can, design the scene where you want to. Check this out. Fits moderate posture. Well, how does it know that? All right, check this out. Oops. We can, sorry. What did I do? Let me go back here. We've got a moderate posture. Sorry. So up here in the corner, you see it says conservative, moderate, aggressive. You can, for your personal use, you can say, I'm more conservative, or me, I'm moderate, or I'm more aggressive, and it will set up, it will show you different ideas that fit your risk tolerance. That's really cool. So down here, it shows the exact trade, all that kinds, mirrors what the institutional tape is showing on the most active expiry on the board. So, and again, this is a 40,000 contract trade. I'm going to show you in a second. So the cool thing, I can go, okay, open this in Options Pro. You click on that, and now we have the exact spread right here. Right, 60/70, there's the calls, just like you would have in ThinkOrSwim or Fidelity, whatever platform you're looking at. It's a call vertical, it's got everything you need to know here, right? There's spot, etc. But it goes one step further. Let me drag this down. If you use TOS and you like the Analyze tab, like I do, we have an Analyze tab built into this. This is your loss down here. If it goes down, 55, 60. If it goes up, this is your profit. Over here, there's your break even at 62. There's 65, there's 70. So it shows your profit as it goes higher, higher, higher. That's pretty cool. And you might say, well, that's cool, but I don't really know how to do that. Well, if you are, I have an answer for you. If you are on ThinkOrSwim, there is a tab right there, and it says TOS. And all you have to do, copy ThinkOrSwim order to clipboard. So you click on that. That's the order as it populates in TOS, ThinkOrSwim or Schwab, right? Copy order string. So it's copied, right? So now we go over here to our ThinkOrSwim, and we can click anywhere we want to. Doesn't matter. I'm going to click over here on the put side. Doesn't matter. So it pulls up a trade. Doesn't matter. Here is your clipboard. So you click on that, and now that is the trade we just looked at. DRAM 60/70. All you did was post it to your clipboard, right? So then, this is so easy. Right click on here, Analyze Trade. There's the trade, right? So now, 60/70, 18 September. It's exactly what we're just looking at. Here, 18 September, 60/70. Again, we copied it. Now, this will also work for Interactive Brokers or any of the other brokers out there. You can ask, if it doesn't have the platform already, you can ask it to build for your specific platform, Tasty Trade, whatever, and it will build it for you. But anyway, I just love this platform. It's so cool. So there's the trade. So here, if you did, and it populates it at one contract, let's just say 10 contracts here. It's $2.04. I like round numbers. Let's say 50. So 10 contracts going to cost $2,500. If it's at 70, you're going to make $7,500 on 2,500. I like that. It's pretty cool. I did that again. Full disclosure, I did this trade today, and I actually turned this into a butterfly. I said, man, I like this idea, but if we make this a butterfly, it gets cheaper. And I did. I went from $2.50 to $1.50, $1.57, and that's what the trade looks like. I'm still targeting 70. So look at this. So and I got filled at $1.57. So I got 15, and this is a 10 lot. You could size way up or way down. It doesn't matter. So this risks $1,500. If we were to pin at 70 On expiration, you see over here, 1570, that's your risk. If you pin over here at 70, you make $8,430. See over here, 8,400 and where was it? There, $8,430 on 1,500. Pretty good. I'm okay with that, right? So I did turn it into a butterfly, but let me show you how I took that information and went to the trade tab here. Remember, we're talking about 18 SEP. There's my position. And this is what came up. All you have to do is go on your brokerage platform. Most every platform out there has volume. They have open interest. They have all the stuff, you know. So that was the trade. 41,000 there and 40,000, or say 40,000 there and 40,000 there. That was the trade. That is an institutional trade. We've verified that. We know that is because the AI system has institutional feed, data feed. It can tell what those trades are when they come across, etc. They know that these were bought and these were sold as a spread together. Now there's obviously right now there's not the exact same number of contracts because people are buying and selling other things around this. But it was interesting, 12,000 more contracts came in today. I'm recording this on August the 14th. So 12,000 additional contracts came in today. That volume came in yesterday. So I know that that's what the trade is. I know how to follow along. So if somebody's doing 40,000 contracts, they probably have a little money. They probably know what they're doing. Obviously, it's an institutional trade. So again, this that's the trade right there. And I'll show you this way too. If you don't know how to do that, or if you don't want to set it up from an AI platform or that AI platform. It's a vertical spread, right? And they're buying the 60s and selling the 70s. So you buy, set plus 10, you buy the 60s, minus 10, right there. You're going to sell 70s, $2.44. And then when you want to look at it, this is really cool. If you hadn't watched any of my other videos, I've got a lot of videos on the Analyze tab out there. So you right click on here, and you want to analyze the trade, so it takes it over here. And again, that's where you can see it. I'm a visual person. I like to look and see, okay, you know, what's my risk and what's my reward? And this pink line is your T+1 line, shows you where you are on the trade each day. But again, I took that trade and I converted that into a butterfly a little bit. You get a little more bang for the buck that way. But and my break evens on the trade are over here at about 61 and about 78. Very wide range. We're pretty close to getting into the body of the trade. I like this trade. So if, depending on when you see this video, it all depends on what happens with the semiconductor sector and the NASDAQ. You know, we're pretty extended in the market right now. We could pull back. But, you know, this is a low risk way to play it, especially if you don't know which one to pick. Am I going to buy SanDisk? Am I going to buy Micron? Am I going to buy AMD or SK or whatever? You know, this is a good way to play it through that ETF. So set that up that way if it's still out there. Keep an eye. I always look for volume and open interest, and you can find trades that way. It's a good way to find trades. Again, an AI system like this is an excellent way to do it. I will put a link down here to in this bottom of this video if you want to check this site out. It's not my site, but I like it. I use it. I do have a link from me. You can actually get a discount if you use my code. It's a friend of mine that built this. But it's an incredible site. I will do more videos on all of the functionality of this thing. Is really cool. But so keep like and subscribe, of course, hit the notification bell and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to try to start doing like one of these tabs every couple of days and walk through with real examples of how I'm using it and how it works. So I hope that makes sense. Hope it helps. Again, check that out. Check out DRAM. I think if you want to have some exposure to the semiconductors, that's a good way to do it. And with that, let me know, obviously, if you have any questions and I can help you, let me know. Again, I'll put a link down here. I have a free newsletter with a lot of stock ideas. I do three off the radar outliers a week. It's free. I'll put a link down there, and also I have live trading room, so come and join us. We trade this stuff every day. This is actually where we took this trade in my live trading today. So come and join us, check it out. There's a link down there below as well. So thanks for your time, guys. Thanks for hanging around, and hope this was helpful. Let me know. There's a lot to that AI platform. I'm just really kind of skimming the surface here, but let me know if you have any questions. I'm glad to help. And thanks for your time, and I will see you at the next video. Thanks. Take care.